As the temperature outside climbs, we want cold air conditioning inside our cars, and that means everything has to work perfectly. Now, one of the things that's frequently overlooked is something that most, not all, but most cars have, and that is a cabin air filter. Filters all of the air that comes into the inside of the car. Well, as they get dirty, they block the amount of air that can circulate through the car, and that reduces the cooling efficiency of the air conditioning system. So if your car has a cabin air filter and the AC is not working properly, well, check the cabin air filter first. Next thing is something that we see all the time. This is a condenser. It is mounted up here ahead of the radiator, right in the very front of the car. And it gets rid of the heat that is picked up by the air conditioning system inside the car. Now, let's take a peek at this one. We'll put a light behind it, and as we move the light down, we see that when we get down here in the middle, the light goes away. Nothing is coming through. That means that the center of this condenser is blocked. Now, why does that happen? Well, it happens because there's an electric cooling fan that's pushing stuff right through this spot, and it all collects there, blocks airflow over a period of time. Now, the other thing that happens is this is very close to the radiator, and leaves and debris pile up between the condenser and the radiator. How do you keep it clean? Every time you wash the car, wash the condenser with your garden hose. Now, you also may have seen ads on TV or in print that tell you that it's really, really easy to recharge your own air conditioning. Well, if you really know what you're doing, that might be the case. But if you don't know what you're doing, you could damage the air conditioning system in your car. Now, these come with instructions and they have a gauge on them, but in a pro shop, you'd find that you don't have one gauge, you actually have two gauges, a low side or low pressure gauge and a high side or high pressure gauge. And it's the comparison between these two that tell you how the system is working. Now, another thing is that you have no way to measure how much refrigerant you're putting into the system. And the right amount of refrigerant in an air conditioning system these days is absolutely critical. That's why we have scales like this one, very, very precise. So precise that if we put this quarter on here, we can actually measure the weight of a quarter. Now, we use this to measure the weight of the refrigerant that we're putting into the air conditioning system, and on many cars, it has to be accurate, plus or minus 1 ounce of refrigerant. That's pretty hard to do if you don't have this equipment. So if you have any questions at all about do-it-yourself, you'd be better off to have a pro do it. And if you have a question or comment, drop me a line right here at MotorWeek.